everyone, I'm going to record a narration to this because the video didn't work too well, so I had to edit it quite a lot. So this is going to be me painting some Uruk Hai Scouts. I started off with a black base coat, highlighted it a little bit to pick out the details. These are the plastic Games Workshop Uruk Hai Scouts that came out when the original Fellowship of the Ring film came out. So I started with a mix of Vallejo chocolate brown and black, about 50-50. It comes out as quite a dark colour, so I started off by using this to coat all the areas which needed to be quite dark, so the cap, anything sort of like the undergarments area, and I just went over this with a couple of thin coats just to cover it. I then went back to the chocolate brown on its own, very, very thin coats over all of the rest of the leather. Everything else on the model, which was leather, got a coat of this. So once this was all done, I waited for it to dry, obviously, but as you can see, there's quite a lot of this area which got a coat, because that's the basic colour of the Uruk Hai I've done is going to be a very dark brown. So once they're all dry, moving on to the next colour from that, so you can see there's quite a few different poses there, but they've all had exactly the same treatment. A dark brown and then a sort of lighter dark brown. So then I went for the metal, so for that I used the Vallejo game colour Gunmetal. I'm not sure what the Games Workshop equivalent is, but for this I just gave everything one coat of Gunmetal. Made sure that the coats were nice and thin because I didn't want to lose the details, especially on the shields. So once that was done, wait for it to dry. But as you can see, it's quite basic. I've just blocked the colours in. I've not done anything special. I've not dry brushed. I've not done any sort of different techniques. The next would be for a heavy sienna. So I used this for the flesh colour. Now the flesh, there isn't a lot of it there, but this is a sort of reddish brown, which gives the Uruk Hai a very sort of like a nice colour. I didn't want them to be too dark, but I didn't want them to be too red either. So I again just blocked in the colours, each of the sort of like very basic places. So that's all of the colours blocked in. I haven't really done the straps yet and the belts. I do those afterwards. So the next thing I'd use is the Army Painter Strong Tone. So this is a wash. It's a little bit like the Games Workshop Agrax Earth, and it just basically brings together all the colours, tones them down, and gives them that sort of like dirty Uruk Hai feel, especially on the metal. It's very good on the metal because Nuln Oil, it is good, but it kind of doesn't really give the right effect that I'd want. So again, back with a mix of chocolate brown and black, a little bit less black this time to give a highlight. So just going over very, very gently the areas which I gave that initial colour for, edge highlighting it. Yeah. So once those bits have been edge highlighted, you can't really see because it is quite a dark colour, but it just sort of breaks up the black a bit. Again, back to the chocolate brown. Edge highlighting that. No other colour mixed into this yet, just sort of going over the washed areas to try pick out some of the details, especially on the back of the cloak things they're wearing, as you'll see in a second. There's quite a bit of detail on them, and from the table, from looking down on the table, that's what you're mainly going to see. So I then took the chocolate brown and added a little bit of Iraqi Sand. Iraqi Sand is a great colour because it's a beige, so lightening browns, greens, anything like that with a beige works better than white because you have more control over it. So after that quick edge highlight, as you can see, sort of details on the back. They're subtle, because I don't want to take it too far, because I don't want them to look cartoony. And yeah, so yeah, you can see the details better on the back there. Just sort of like the leather, it's got a bit of a worn look to it. So now back with the gunmetal. I didn't use a silver or anything for these because I think that the gunmetal gives a stark enough highlight. So I went over these, making sure that just to highlight the very edges, especially the armour and the foot armour as well, just the very edges of those and the edges of the shield. Added a couple of scuff marks as such to the shield to give it a little bit more of a battle damage look, but it hasn't really showed up too much, so I'm not really too worried about that. It was just a little experiment. A bit more along the edge of the blade to make it look sharper. But yeah, as you can see on the feet there, I've tried to make sure that you retain the wash in the recesses. So now back to the skin, again, same colour again. Basically, once I've used the Army Painter strong tone, I go over everything again once more with the same colour, leaving the gaps. So the strong tone effectively dulls the paint down a level or two. So you can see there the gaps in the arms. So a little bit of white now just to go over the teeth. Not worried about being too neat because I'll go back over with a bit of brown. Just wanted to give them a little bit of character on the faces. So that one's got quite big teeth. It looks like he's got a massive grin on his face. So then, yeah, back with the the brown. Just go over the edge. Oh, I think I went, yeah, there you go. I thought I went over that one a bit too much, but I didn't. So then, for the skin again, same brown, but then adding in the Mahogany Brown from Vallejo. This is quite a red brown, so it just gives a nice little highlight to the skin on the higher areas. Did a little bit of experimenting on the shields. Did some freehand hands, like the White Hand of Saruman. Very happy with them. They're just sort of 4 fingers and a thumb. Quite easy to do. Did them in sort of like different angles and all sorts of bits and pieces. So now I'm going over the straps and everything using Dirt Splatter from Army Painter. You could quite easily use any brown you've got. I just did the one layer because it's not that prominent. I didn't bother highlighting it.
And here's the finished article. 12 Iraqi Scouts painted. All in all, the time probably would have taken me maybe 2 evenings. It's taken a little bit longer actually trying to film through some of the painting stuff. I've got a lot of editing to do. I tried to mix it up with different types that I've done, so I've got some without shields, I've got 2 with bows, and the rest of them I've got the tall Uruk-hai shields. So that's a quick run through of how I've painted these. I think in total I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just trying to think what other colours I might have actually used. And these 2. So all in all, 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe 9 or 10 paint colours is all I've really used. And just because there is a lot of brown, it's just a case of highlighting it and bringing it through. They're quite easy to paint and quite basic troops, but I'm really happy with how they've come out. I'll put in some still shots at the end just so you can get a bit of a closer view of how they look. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.